what is this? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Filling the gap. Reminding thingy. Let's finish setting up your PC. How about we don't set up my PC? Good morning, Dex. Motown Mo. DBC, sup, dude? Top of this finest morning to you. Hope you are good. Reporting for Magic Judy. Going about the magic business. If we can spread the magic everywhere, everyone will be magic. It's when it comes. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. We'll spread the magic. So things are a little less creepy. We're going to up the light. But I was going to say, as you up the light, you go to vibrations where it seems like magic. Reality is technology. And it comes down to how fast you got it working. Sup Dex, sup Jess. Thanks for likes, appreciate that. So it's all it really is. It's all it really is. We just up in the vibration, up in the magic. Basically scrubbing particles actually. Polishing them. Can you name all 144,000 electrons? Like, what? Are they 100? No? But you should probably name them. Give them a signature. So when they're used in experience, you rate just the same moment. Because life is the same moment on repeat, no matter what. It's holographic. And eventually the higher mind gets that. The higher mind? Yes, the higher mind. Which, funny enough, makes you breathe deeper, which actually activates more of the higher... I love how it's double. You're going to either be unconsciously doing this or consciously doing it by dealing with different subject matter. It's quite rad, but how about a little bit of, normal chat? It's early in the morning for me. It's like 19 past 6. I'm at it. It's quite cool. Hey, Carrie, it's quite cool I get to indulge, eh? It's like you think by now Garth would have had enough. It's like you go to the year 2000, Garth and Mike's. Sup, Sally? Garth and Mike sitting in Spur before a shift. And I'm going, and then you breathe, and then the consciousnness, and this is like 2000, and then one of the other waiters is like, is this all you guys do? Just sit around talking about stuff. Describe water. Because his mother was a yoga instructor. He was already philosophical, so he thought we were being stupid even trying to put this into words. Sup, Block Electric Gardener. It is pretty much what it is. Time-space traveler. Sup, fellow other time traveler. You feel the shift? Yes. 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 There's definitely, we're in that critical mass. The pressure's, it's there. We're in the shift. It's just, like when you cut a tree down? I've never cut a tree down, but you cut a tree down, and then you hear that cracking noise, and just step back and wait. It's that situation. Just critical mass all around. But then there's also a little bit of quantum delicacy going on in America. It all pivots there. The majority of the world's attention, other than being on itself, is currently on America's situation. And it's not heartless. It's like, I'm actually feeling, not sorry, it's karma, and not good, bad karma, it'll work out nicely. But I'm feeling the pressure, the Biden-Trump pressure. And I don't think a lot of Americans realize what it is, that they're going from 25, take away it's bad enough, and I get the things that make life okay in America, we take that away, and then on the other front, it's mouth breather. And so you guys are good, it's like boom, 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 and all you do is you spend your time building up why the other guy's stupid, and then that's not good. Think about the subject matter. It's either my fear of the opposition, and then I'm going to now tell you why it's so bad. And I'm going to basically build myself down while I'm telling you how my Biden is bad, or how my Trump is bad. My other side of whatever I think is. And so America is split like that. And it's hectic. Are you pro Diddy? I'm so happy you're alive. Sup, Lulu? My ears feel like I have been popping for past 2 days. That's great, Jess, that you're focusing on that rather. Because that's literally, you get harmonics. And those harmonics are where different universal sound, light, echoes balance each other. And those pops are where you can listen to everything that was ever said at the same time as your DNA activates. And those poppings are you literally hitting new combined harmonics. It's really strange. Because it's sound that's beyond sound. You know, like how we only see and hear a certain part of the spectrum. It's the stuff outside of that, the clear, like transparent consciousness. Both sides are trash, there's two kids fighting sticks. But that's the point. Now the point is narcoleptic. It's less about that and more about what's going through the mind. See, by saying trash, every person in America will then, the subconscious is talking about itself the whole time. So by putting two people like that in front of you, you're going to self-condemn. You remember the basic 101 of consciousness? You're always dealing with yourself. So you're calling them trash, you just call yourself trash. And it is the end of the road for needing to be right. And for anyone else in this world to be trash. Get what I'm saying? You built those guys out of convincing yourself your reflection was trash. My Republican, you guys trash. Democrat, you guys trash. Trash. 200 odd years of Democrat, your reflection is trash. And now you're sitting with that situation. Mouth breather and criminal. So now what you need to do is you need to go, okay, cool, those guys are great. I love Trump, I love Biden. They're just souls, they're playing a role. They've got a certain outlook and I'm actually over-dramatizing it. And then in that state of not condemning your opponent, which is not the way to go about transcending reality, you then will go, and then Kennedy, your vibration will be of a not fearful paradigm. Fearful paradigm would have you permanently trashing the opponent and telling why your guy's not so bad. Nah, he's not so bad. Trump's not so bad. At least he did this. Biden's not so bad. At least he did this. Trump's bad because he's that. No. Shut up. That's fear. That's fear existence. And if America fails the test, you're going to get one of those dudes. Trump, actually. You're going to get Trump if you fail the test. And the test is, stop living in fear and stop condemning your reality. And America will pass the test. And then you'll go, hey, Kennedy, what's he up to? Because your vibration won't be a condemning vibration. And then enough of you will jump onto the Kennedy train and you guys will have a utopia. And then your psyches won't be attacked on a daily basis by the news just going on and on and on. How many years can you carry on? 8 years, technically. 8 years of the same bullshit conversation. High schools don't do that. High schools, no one does that. It's the end of the road, basically. Does the ego create the illusion? 100%. 100%. Every time it says something else is trash. Wait, I'm trash, haha, but, wait, hold on. But when the big shift is done, I'll make us recycle and good. That's what, I get what you're saying. When the big recycle is done. The big recycle is done continuously. That shift you're talking about is happening all the time. It's just when enough people are cognitive of it, then everyone will go, hey, look, see, there's the shift. Epic! Thank you, dude. Appreciate that. So it's just a matter of thinking enough in love and positivity as opposed to thinking in fear. That'll be the thing that knocks it one way, Trump or Kennedy. It's that simple. And so I should only be having the conversation of, I shouldn't even acknowledge those who don't acknowledge the love side of the equation. Those who are still fear paradigming, I must be like, da-da-da, because I'm doing the very thing that I'm saying they mustn't do. I'm not dumb. That's one thing, I'm not stupid enough. I'm not going to go and become the thing that I'm condemning. Epic, thank you! Thank you so much, bro. I agree, you put it a much better way. I couldn't have... Yeah, but narcoleptic, I'm obsessed. I'm like, 24 years, I'm a weirdo, dude. And you shouldn't even be able to speak it this much without losing the awareness of it. I'm just a freak. Basically the ultimate in the lowest aspect of myself, saw some sort of purity and decided to gift me with this. but I'm not separate to anybody else. And you know what I mean? I'm not under... It's funny. It's such a funny thing to be cool in any way. Epic, thank you so much. Love you so much as well. To be cool in any way and to think you're cool, as opposed to, you know, go, yeah, the me that's cool animates those who think it's cool. So if I accept the cool, aren't I a fool? You know, because it's the same one consciousness animating me and the audience. So if I'm like, yeah, look at me, I got this gift. It's almost like I'm falling for it. There's a God behind the audience going, stupid little child, you're so stupid. I know I would be doing it that way. I know how God thinks. I know how God doesn't work in mysterious ways. I'll tell you exactly how God works. Like down to the final move. And that's always been my thing if I think about it. From the age of 7, you go, oh, Jesus, come into my heart. It's always been, so how do you see it? How do you see it? How does Jesus see it? God, how would you see this? What would you do here? Why are you back to front? That kind of thing. So if I think about it, some part of me is actually being quite arrogant the whole time, thinking it's going to embody God. But that's because it's my nature, because I've ascended already. It's almost like having your mind wiped and then being presented with a video machine. Like, I know this thing, I don't know why, but I know it. What does it do? I don't know. Smack it. What's this thing? I don't know. It's separate. I think it might control it from a distance. I think the word remote sounds familiar. It feels like that when you incarnate and you've already incarnated lots and you're already ascended to a degree. Some part of you is like, I don't know this thing. Wait, this place used to do magic. Why isn't it magic anymore? I remember when I was a kid, I went to some kid who just bought a bodyboard, small little thing this size. I went up to it and I was like, where? How does it levitate? And the kid's like, what? I'm like, how does it levitate? How does it fly? How do you go in the sky with the thing? And the kid was like, what? And I was like 3. And to me, anything that was shaped like that you could use to go fly. Right? I'm like, where are the batteries? The batteries go at the bottom. Oh, it needs a power source. So my mind, from my parallel lifetime, oh my God. Epic, thank you. You did something else. You lit something up here. The top's lighting up. Ascension was scary at first, but then I come back and play the game without fear. Sure, narcoleptic. So epic, it's so funny. Narcoleptic, the whole concept of trash. If anyone compliments you ever, say you levitate or you raise someone from the dead or you fix a stock exchange or you know what I'm trying to say. Say you did anything great ever and someone goes, you're great, you're amazing, you just know I'm trash. In the Lord, basically, you might know that you're God and embodying it, but you should rather just give all glory to a concept, a concept of you and the person. Be like, no, only it's through God's glory, God's grace. You know, like where Christians and people are like reverent. That's a performance because you're gonna actually get back more. Epic, thank you. You're gonna actually get back more, not breaking the fourth wall. Like, because in your heart, in your mind, you know you're that thing. That thing should know it's you. Basically, your connection with God. I don't want to say this. Should be inside. And outside, we should all know we are. I think actually, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I think we're all specialists at this. In other words, the way you see it, narcoleptic, the way I see it, and everyone else sees it is the same difference. It's the same difference. In other words, if you were going to weld something or fix something, you want different types of strengthening devices. You bring in different types of divine perceptions. So everyone's got a divine perception. See, the opposite of anything true is also true. And now it doesn't seem like we're traditionally discovering in reality. We're actually deciding by going, oh, this, and then go, well, that's that, then this could be also, this is also, and then because you become cognitive of it, that's a mental or conscious expansion. Sup, Karen, hey, y'all. Are the 5 here? That's so good. So in Karen, we definitely have a psychic connection. But I know we do. But I tested that last night before I went to sleep. I was like, there's the same solid 5 to 6 subscribers who are here every day that I'm actually talking to all the time. And the rest of the subscribers are technically renewals. And I thought that on purpose to see if someone would say anything. And because I know whatever I think is monitored. I literally monitor my own thoughts, and I don't think that much either. So I can watch it replay itself back at me. And that was it, Karen. Cool, eh? Gotta shake people up. Cat, thank you so much for roses. Rattle the brain. Sometimes dark humor does it. But that's the thing. So narcoleptic, what I call fear is my own fear. So in other words, love. What I'm trying to say is love is interconnected self. Do you think Biden doesn't represent us? And not in a mean way, in a nice way, in a beautiful way. If you had to stare into the fifth dimensional light, I promise you'd act like Biden. I promise. Biden's actually basically Metatron as far as I'm concerned. And it's not, everything isn't about beating this and beating that. Maybe something about putting on a performance so you can illustrate something. Same with Trump. Maybe Trump represents our collective shadow. We're all a bit, if no one's watching, we'll all do a bit of a side move. If we're all really honest, which means they're actually learning tools that we're still using to learn from. Who am I to judge the news and adults who want to talk about it non-stop? Maybe they're processing their own unconscious, using Biden and Trump as a metaphor. Therefore, they're actually divine beings. And therefore, to hate them is a form of love. Meaning, I'm still obsessed. I'm still going to talk about them because I want to work through something. Maybe, maybe my differential judgment is my own karmic stain. It's true what I'm just saying, but nothing actually. Meaning, it's all love, it's all connected, it's all perfect. It's up to me to see it that way, including other people's perceptions of it. Especially other people's perceptions of it, because that's my perception of it from another extreme higher vibration. Meaning if I'm here, and I want to enhance here, I can't go here. I need to take it, I need to see something else that's my equivalent, different from a higher God or self's point of view. So therefore, the second I judge them, I'm judged. The second I deem that as differential, I'm differential. If I see it as undifferentiated extension of self, I am undifferentiated extension of self, embodied love. So you fix anything that way, because anything is just missing itself, and if you're yourself, then it's itself, and you can just feel, you need this piece. You need that understanding, because it's obvious how you present it to me to remind me. I'm going to remind you, but it's a simultaneous reminding. One presents itself and one does the reminding, but both are the body of remembrance. Yeah, that's so good, Guardian, no? I was about to say that now, when Karen said, I wish I could watch you more, but I have to go. So Elise. Hectic soup goddess. And they're on YouTube. They're all uploaded. All these lives are uploaded to YouTube if you want to watch them on another stage. And then I'm thinking now, narcoleptic gardener, all-encompassing, meaning the frustrated is the piece that you share with everybody else. You wouldn't be frustrated if you had to do it. You know what I'm trying to say? I really get that clear as day, that everyone's perfect and then they play a role so that everyone can feel at ease with each other. There's a divine aspect in everybody who shares like 10% of everybody's misunderstanding. How old? 45. Ears ringing. Karen, a lot of that now. It's basically going online so that you get given the gift. Think about it. If you hear a phrase or a statement or something in something, and you hear like a triple truth, and you hear that the theme is always about balancing your relationship with yourself. Can you think about what the collective mind that hears that as opposed to the mind that hears a bit of misunderstanding and condemnation? You create what you perceive. You recreate what you perceive. It never stops. Interesting. Have you tried, just for randomness, depressurizing? Just to try like the... It's currently 6:36. Thanks, Josh. That's so funny, narcoleptic gardener. As in not funny, funny as in profoundly, I feel what you're saying. And you chose there. Basically, you're lifting the vibration from that point of view. ask your guides, narcoleptic, to see your ascension lifetime. You'll see it they'll show it to you in a dream. And if you can keep them, you can retain the dream. And it'll be good for you, just so you can reference it. You can see what happens when you've clocked a computer game, life, and then you choose to re-enter to assist. You'll see how little there is to know, and how much you know, and how that the universal functionality is in replication and in its expression. So there seems to be many things in reality, but there aren't. It's just you. And I know you know that. Just if you watch an ascension lifetime, you can then go, oh, heck, it really is just like the water cycle in reverse, basically, where instead of thinking I'm one water molecule that evaporates, I'm the entire system, and I'm expressed at every stage. It's like literally thinking twice through the same nothing. Your brain can perceive it, but it's not going to talk it. It's both brains resonating together. And so dialogue is one side of the brain resonating with the other one slightly less, and either going from a right brain pattern linear or a linear pattern. And that's all conversation is. You just say it as if it's a sentence. So you'll flip the one around when you use it. When you use pattern into linear, you still say the linear. When you say linear into pattern, you still say linear. Because you talk linear about a pattern perception. So me too. Conversation sensation is saying, I notice the pattern. I notice the pattern. I notice the pattern in your speech. I notice the pattern in your speech. Me too, converse sensation. And if you just rise above it as if they're one being, you can listen to a fifth dimensional conversation. And then you can listen to the planets in anyone's speech, including your own. You can tune into the planet's sixth dimensional conversation, its seventh dimensional conversation. So anything anyone says has to go through dimensional conversation checkpoints. It holographically filters into that. Now you can imagine hearing a 15th dimensional time matrix say anything it's possible to say simultaneously. There won't be anything you don't understand, there won't be anything you needed to know. You will know all things simultaneously, and all of time and space that has ever happened, ever can happen, you'll be highly cognitive of, and how it's connected to itself in all possible timelines. It seems like an impossible amount of data, but the universe is your extension. You're not actually holding the data anywhere. You're using the entire universe as the processor. And it's actually it's beyond space and time. It's hyperspace, hypertime. Basically, quantum cloud is the best way to say it. I have trouble thinking about anything higher than fifth dimension. Interesting. Tuning into the radio, but sometimes I forget I left the volume all the way up. Brilliant. Seventh dimensional, that's the first time I've heard that, really. But I understand. Brilliant. So if you read The Alchemy of the Nine Dimensions, in my bio, there's a brief breakdown of it. You can get a quick idea about the 9 dimensions and the descriptions. But we basically live in a 15th dimensional time matrix. It oscillates and recreates this perfect moment over and over again. And you can transcend the 15th dimensional time matrix, which is the same as escaping the matrix. But then you're just going to be in another matrix. And then you can actually then study why are there matrices? Why are there billions of parallel 15th dimensional time matrices, and what pattern do they have? Oh my god, if you add them all together, they look like a white daisy? A dragon? No, I don't know. That's up to you to explore. I'm just here to... Basically, there's a graduation. You could say 144 souls, but there's also one or none has graduated from this universe, basically. So on a level, you can say we've come to watch the graduation. On another one, we've come to assist in the ascension. But I say we and it, and this realm, once you've transcended it, you're past all terminology. You're past progression ideas, you're past being, you're past essence, you're past causal bodies. You've learned the universal God making fabric 101 back to front, and it's in your back pocket and you can use it. You technically inherit your God nature back. So it's like, do I earn the privilege of climbing out of the pool? Or do you want to zoom out and go, oh, I just climbed in the pool and I'm climbing out the pool? Which would be the same as going, oh, I came to this universe to learn something and become something as a God aspect. And you think how many types of and there's infinite versions like this fifth-dimensional time matrix that can express itself, and God can discover itself in a new way. And there's those of us who've got those memories, and there's always a certain amount allocated per age. You know, I take an incarnation per great age. Child being giving me info, sentiments, answers, but didn't recall. Absolute pleasure. Not galactic. I'm currently on day of my desert journey, cycling and reviewing. Alright. But I don't know what it was, or when Sup, Tracy? That's exactly it. Brilliant. Not gardener, exactly. Seeds planted, and you're going to now have a bunch of other what you think are random experiences that are actually going to polish those, and then they'll come together. So it'll feel like it's blinking on and off. It's almost like you get a quick glimpse of something, so that you got the idea of it, and then you basically build it back yourself, actually. I'm explaining the workings of it, but what a gardener said is exactly. For a great answer, by the way. May I ask? Absolutely. It's a great answer, by the way. And that's what you all do, because you're going to start hearing your own questions in other people, and you go, I don't answer that, I just figured that out myself. And that's Celestian prophecy. Everything you encounter will be a version of yourself that you actually have the answer for, and then by passing the answer along, your greater system reveals itself. Over the couple of weeks, really. But I'm oddly calm. It's a thing clearing, Tracy. Tracy, that's great. I can feel what you're feeling. That thing of where like say 5 years ago, you would have been going, oh no. And then that piece, you're past convinced what reality is, and that it's actually magic. And you know, and you know that holding that piece is going to bring something great over the horizon, so that shake-up is a blessing, because all things work together for good, and you refuse to. You factually know it can't bring you anything not good if you have that attitude. Like it can't, and you know it. So it's like every time it wants to put pressure on you, you're like, it's reminding you to be even more like, oh, is it? Yeah. Now watch when the thing rocks up. It's 36 hours from now. It could be a little bit sooner, but 36 hours from now you get that variable. It makes you go, okay, that's why I'm so chill. Well done, Tracy. Well done. There's a whole lot of people right now that are also... Normally I'd be straight the first time in their lives they're having situations. Yeah, that's exactly it. They're basically not convinced that they shouldn't just walk on the water. Meaning, this is all mind. It's up to me to jump in and go, whatever that thing is that can stress you. And some things are real. Like a week from now, we get kicked out of our house. And normally that would have made you go, I'm drowning in the water, real life. Now you're like, no, you know what? It's a mental concept until I'm actually out in the rain. Until then, I'm walking on the water and make the most of these 7 days in the house. And that's going to make timeline jump so that guess what, you can have the house or whatever. That kind of shit's going to happen. And then the people can tell that story, and then the people who are confident are going to start feeling even more confident, so they can feel, and they're going to hear stories, and well done, Tracy. It's a arrowhead of energy that you're... If you looked at the Akashic, the Akashic's six-dimensional changes There's a whole bunch of changes taking place, which means people are working with their actual God selves. A level beyond anything I could try and teach. Like that's what, like if God wants, what does God want? God wants you to know it. What does God want more than that? For you to become God again. This is a lot of work. What? Trying to remind everyone that they're God when other people are taking on new karmas half the time. A lot of sentient beings, isn't it? It's infinite sentient beings. We need them all to remember they're God. And you fucking fix this planet, and then this planet, see the light go up. Then this planet switches off, and then these demons think that these light guys are going to get them, so they double down on being bad, and they don't have to be bad because it's their own light that they're afraid of, and it's a never-ending journey. But don't worry, Tracy, we got our own ignorance on the ropes. Any second now. Wow. You gave a whole bunch of beings access. But I just said that to you, Tracy. I just said you're an arrowhead of change, because I can see like literally thousands of people who've now got access to the Akashic records. They can work it. They can work that record, which is, that means there's the 8th dimensional relationship with the 8th and 6th Akashic record. That's where I get my readings from. I'd much rather have everyone go access their own thing, because then we're very quickly going to figure out that we're all just, we don't like deserve names, because we're the same being. You know, and then humans get very, very, very loving and magical when they realize they're not being threatened by their reflection unconsciously. Always another project. Yeah, that's what Kelly Clarkson said. Always gonna be another project. Always gonna be another mountain or something. Someone else did that for me. Who? So you did exactly that, eh, Tracy? But I said it, Tracy, so it's facts. I said it before you told me. I said, Arrowhead Akashic Records, and now you're like, I did an hour-long meditation, open the Akashic Records. See, that's fucking, excuse my language, facts. This isn't, there's been Tracy going, okay, God, what, Tracy? I'm going to say to you in the live that you did an Akashic Record Arrowhead, and then you say, I did an hour-long meditation. We'd have to set this up. I'd have to have an earpiece in. We'd be part of some mega church trying to do a confidence trick right now. Just saying, we can see around time-space. See around the curvature of time-space. Because you are, Tracy, you are saying. You're so good, by the way. Sai Baba, well done, by the way. I love Sai Baba so much. And so basically, my guru, okay, he's definitely my guru. He's not me, but he's taught me past the point where there's no difference. So he's like, are you sure I'm not you? I'm like, well, shut up, Sai. No, my guru, Sai Baba, he's my guru now. Because I still said yesterday, if you bring up mental institution or insanity today, because the fabric of reality is God. Once you have gotten past that level, everyone's the same person and same thing. And the differentiation and the naming and the who did it is ego. That needs to separate yourself from something else so you can have a role in God's show. Instead of just going, you know what, give all glory to God or yourself if you want to be funny about it, because it's still true, it is you, but you can also hide behind the 4th or 5th wall or the 6th wall or the 8th wall. So now, the guy that does all Sai Baba's storytelling that I watch once a day, Sai Baba used to joke with him and call him mental hospital. He's like, are you mental hospital? You crazy. You love the Lord too much. So you crazy. You think all you think about is God all the time. You mental. So this joke, God's joke, with this dude, God, because Sai Baba was the incarnation of God. We all are. But Sai Baba was like, I'll pull magical objects out of nowhere. You know, God 100%. So when Jesus said these things I do, you shall do greater, Sai Baba. Well, actually all of us, because with the body of Christ will come together and we'll all be doing stuff like that. Now listen to my story. So see, like, you mental institution, you mental thingy, you mental home. And now when I think of things, the next video that I'm going to watch will be that theme. So Sai Baba's God, same thing, is working with me on a daily basis on the inner planes. So when you said that, I'm just like, no, man, it's what it is. So now I'm actually going to start to tell the story of Sai Baba. Like, because it's a fascinating story. Like, if you were God and you were getting incarnated on Earth and you had to change the planet, you'd incarnate into an influential family with some money. He chose the hardest starting place. Preta in India, the poorest, most messed up, poorest place. He had a pair of shorts and a shirt. in between the two world wars, when he gets born. Great story. Built it up from nothing. Now the place is, you can see what he's done. Specialty hospital, and he's not a fleecer. He doesn't ask for money. He's Sai Baba. You must definitely learn about that. He's great. Anyway, the inner fabric of the quantum reality is definitely cognitive of itself. The TikTok's wrong with this one. Okay, wait, let's go back to something. Okay, I have lots of questions. Can I ask anything? You can, goddess. Absolutely. Really, the next thought I have is actually from my higher... Really, the next thought I have is actually answers from my higher self. Tracy? What you just said, the reason why I get excited is that's majority. When a person goes, it is what it is, because they know it's all self is what it is. Okay, the people get that. People are wondering what generates my thoughts. I'm not my thoughts. They're the collective vibration. So what makes me ask questions? And it's your higher self. Because in other words, you're going to ask what you already know so you can actually have a conversation with the collective, which you've always been doing your whole life in your thoughts. So your thoughts are the collective's conversation from your viewpoint. And your daily activity is also the whole world from your viewpoint. So by adding love or choosing to see yourself in all of it and know that the thought is my higher self showing me my own divine completion, it's critical mass. The whole planet's realizing it at the same time. And you saying that is people now going, basically the connection with God has been reestablished. People know that they're God. Hence, they're going to honor that inner conversation because they now know it's creating the reality we live in. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, all these things shall be added unto you. Pretty cool, eh? Because it'll literally lead to peace in our time. The whole concept of another being getting hurt is like, what? People are hungry. What do you mean? Bombing people? You know, that kind of thing. It's going to happen like now. It's happening in the next 2-3 years. In fact, it could within this year, the world could take a sharp right turn towards the end of the year. Because if America does get Kennedy in, he's going to verbalize ideas that you can't ignore once he's verbalized it. If a world leader verbalizes, we're past the time where adults are hurting other adults in between countries based on resources, and we've got lots of resources. Let's not pretend, you know. And let's be honest, because the lies lead to misjudged choice, you know, clear and transparent, putting like government's finances on the blockchain so that the whole planet watches the finances. It's total nonsense. And we're all there. It's not, there's no body other than ignorance. And ignorance isn't ignorance. Ignorance is truth that is no longer practical. Ignorance is only ignorance because you only apply something because you think it's true and it works. So we call it ignorance. There's higher degrees of truth or higher, you know. Is ignorance or is it a degree of truth? Is hate or is hate a form of love? Meaning I hate that guy because he's going to take away the thing that I love. Love is what generates it. Truth is what generates everything. And there's higher degrees of truth. So I say we aspire to a higher Maya. Fear. I say, fear is love. It's a form of love. It's a love of the status quo. Or love of ignorance. It's a love of a form of, you know what I'm trying to say. I prefer to see it in those terms because then the aspire concept, they aspire to a high, this is all illusion, it's all meaningless, it's all da-da-da-da-da-da, but there are higher energetic orders of life where you manifest instantly. And you'd hate it if someone walked up to you and said 1, and then 2 years later, that same person knocked on your window of your car and said 2. And then 10 years later, they say 3. You'd be like, what the fuck's with that person? You prefer someone walking up to you going 1, 2, 3, 4, pattern, I got it. So you see why clearing and balancing your karma and being an instant karma where you manifest instantly is less frustrating. Love all of you without trying. Love of all without trying. It's unconditional love. And eventually we won't have to do it. It'll be a natural thing. You'll start to see yourself. in all activity externally. And there's something loving about, natural state. It is a natural state. It's Earth basically going back to its Atlantean condition. I'm thinking more 6D than 5D, but beyond 5D, the being's energy, any sentient being can teach itself. Its higher self will guide its conversation with itself. And it's a space between your higher self and your lower self that your monad is deciding. So God, the equation, the Pythagorean equation is God. It's intelligence. It'll herd and cascade light according to divine order. I've seen it. At what age do you tap into your higher self? All the time. When you play with your imaginary friend, space between you and your imaginary friend is the higher self and the world. So what the world needs is a best friend. It needs to know itself, basically. Therefore, you invent the other half of you. You are a product of a world that supposedly doesn't know its connection to God. So you make an imaginary friend. Between that friend and you brought God with you. And therefore, that pattern that you had as a friend playing it out, you will continue to play that in metaphor with your actual people that you know in this world, the actual people. And you will basically re-befriend yourself, but in the human format. And therefore, all humans will be affected by that. If my spirit steps into a physical meat puppet, and that meat puppet is partically entangled, the human species is enhanced by my spirit. So your rent is your presence, because your presence will actually upgrade the human species. But you're not the human species. You must get that. God, is it true that the white people are being bred out of the planet? I'm like, fucking hologram, man. There's no races, let alone species. Well, from a high enough dimension, it's just pure interpersonal energy. It's that identifying, which is actually quite cool because it's a form of fear to identify with false reality. But it's also fun, because it creates contrast, and it's God's journey. You see that? There was my light uprighted as the wind blew. It's the exact same. It's God. It's me. I know what that is. It's omnipresence, simultaneous, basically the wind light, where the wind is the etherical drift or the realignment of perfect timelines. I can see it on the inner planes. Meditate, everybody, meditate, because you've got a lot of spiritual inheritance that you've developed in parallel lifetimes that'll return to you now. The planet's energy grids can handle it. It's not my words. Palladians. The Palladians are present right now. Sup, Tracy? Thank you. Anyway, the wind blows. Anyway, the wind blows. Doesn't really matter. To me. Zarek, thank you. And who would ever compare God's journey to any other journey? Because that's exactly the point. Is in, what are we identifying with? I don't think God has a journey. It has the illusion of a journey. It's not really a journey from God's point of view. But maybe it is. Because that's the beauty of it. Who are we identifying with? The illusionary creation or the creator? It's a very good conversation to have. And that doesn't matter what you do, because if you do the one, you're going to recreate it so you can study it. If you identify with the creation, which is the lesser of two evils, you'll then create a re-experience that'll illustrate why I'm identifying with the false nature isn't smart. But, free will's free will. Whatever you hold true, God will make true. I've been gaslit my entire life, I know. God, soup goddess. But the beauty is, the lies aren't lies. The lies are a form of truth. They're the shadow of a greater truth that's desired. Think about when you've lied. It's not coming from a bad place. It's coming from a place of wanting that to be true. So the lies, think to yourself, the fabric of the lie contains the metaphor of a deeper truth. And so if you get to know yourself, you'll know all others, and then you'll discover that those lies are what you've held as true about yourself until you discovered. Basically, the gaslighting lie part is them actually believing it's true. You've just risen above their ignorance and think that they didn't cognitively gaslight you. Let's put it that way. It's one's own karma, one's own truth, what you put out, that you're born into. That isn't a condemnation. Well, you can make it that or not now, do you see? And what happens is from lifetime to lifetime, you flip your whole script multidimensionally. So you have no memories, but you're born in the fruits. You're born into the fruits of what you've created, what you put out in the parallel lifetimes. And so you misled people in parallel. We all have. Now, when you mislead someone, are you doing it cognitively? Unconsciously? If you go up the dimensions, even when you're trying to mislead someone, like a bad person, you're going, I'm going to tell this person that the thing's coming to get them is hide. If you're actually doing that, you're still everybody in the dream. Life is a dream. You're still dealing with your own consciousness back to front. And if you're actually honest in meditation, you'll see that the being who's deciding to be bad and mislead is doing the opposite of what you already hold as back to front true anyway. You're going to see, if you go up the dimensions, you can't lie to a person who knows themselves. You can't gaslight yourself. And all your experience is your own karma, yourself. So if you know the self, you can transcend all possibility of gaslight. No energy feeding the triggers anymore. Triggers came from believing that the paradigm of self-deception was created by other. As soon as you know that the paradigm of self-perception was created by self, when the paradigm arrives, you don't judge it as a deception, you judge it as an illustration of your blind spots. Palladians are getting irritated with me. I'm doing this. I'm basically penduluming with the same explanation. Palladians like, we want to say the next thing and teach the next thing. Pain James, have an amazing day, dude. Have a super, it's 8 to 12 hours, James. Inbox me what it is. Something's happening for you. Something good. So just let me know what it is. I want to know what it is. I'm so curious. And James, Palladians say you can put our name on it. The Palladians. You get them if the thing doesn't happen. So it's actually a good thing. So think of it like your birthday when you expect presents from somebody. Expect something from this universe. It's an energy field. It's you. It wants to give you something. I wonder what it is. It's very clear, James. I wouldn't be saying it like as if it wasn't clearish. Very clear. It'll be blue or grey. Is your mom's birthday tomorrow? Coming for you though. And please tell her I say happy birthday. You did a great job, dude. Did an amazing job. Ultimately, all mothers do, even if they're bad, because that's your karma, and you know all things work together for good. But your mom did an actual good job, actually, not spiritually. Well, she did spiritually, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Actually. James, bro, seriously. All of creation. Does a little, James? Yeah, does a little hat tip to you, dude. That's the attitude of gratitude. Mom, my life has been begun and now I'm gone. Thrown it all up. Bella, how did you do that? Bella, were you here for the... Was Bella here for the thing you said it? Was I singing? How did Bella do that? What happened? Don't freak me out here, man. If Bella pulled in just reciting Bohemian Rhapsody lyrics, I'm going to be freaked out. I don't know what gaslighting was until I was older. I was taught to obey adults. But now think about it. As soup goddess, think to yourself, make those adults right. Like, instead of condemning, look at the origin story of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, say hypothetically speaking, your parents were maybe hectic, or, you know, mom was a bit hectic, maybe dad was a bit hectic when he got upset with you. Now, just think, you go, oh, that's not fair, their parents would go. And then you go, what about their parents? No, their parents would probably punch them in the face if they spoke back. So what my point is, separate yourself from creation, look at everybody, and then rebuild them up as if that makes sense. Like, you would also become that if you were built up that way, had that backstory. It's a good way to get a base par relationship with reality, because it is your karma. It's your back to front self. Everything is you. So in other words, you know what I'm trying to say. You got to work with your own energy. And so that's a starting point to neutralize other. There is no other. It's all you. So you just got to go, okay, I had a million lifetimes in the past and the future, and they're happening simultaneously, and my life now is the composite of that. Otherwise, you will repeat paradigms of what was done to you, when in truth, you create you. It's a different psychological way of looking at life. I created me this way with what I hold true, but I've always held true in my back and forth. Then you can rise above all difference. And rising above all difference means that the fabric of what was lies become a fabric of the truth's shadows. Triggers like chicken and egg debate. Who triggers? Yeah, exactly. Like chicken. Like chicken came now. There were these animals that had eggs. So like the chickens came a lot long after the egg. You know. But then, on the subconscious level, the egg, the universe, its physical shape is an egg. And then it's like, well, what came first? The incubation or the thing? The incubator or the thing? The conceptualize. Because an egg is an abstract shape of consciousness. If you read the book, the egg isn't shaped like that for no reason. Put it that way. Nothing in this universe is shaped like it is for no reason. It's a cymatic reflection. You're a cymatic reflection. Shut up. You reflect. Shut up. My higher self, so funny. It jumped in there. I'm like, everything is a cymatic reflection, like a sound harmonic picture of itself. And I'm like, you picture yourself. Dun, 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 dun. I hate it when I'm doing poorly and yelling at myself from a different car. That's hilarious. It's called darshan. When you see yourself everywhere. I think it's called darshan. I'm a silly goose. Brilliant narcoleptic gardener. That's a thing at the moment, goose. Where Thingy had Egyptian. Jodie's going to rock up now, watch. Jodie's going to be here within a minute. Because her Canadian Egyptian geese. No, I mean her Canadian geese. I got Egyptian geese. You know, that's a theme. Along with the heron. We're both getting those birds. Just those two birds at our boat, where we go for walks with water. And the goose is definitely connected to the golden goose. The golden egg concept. Goose, golden egg. Once you can, as a heron, can see that everything's a reflection, you can then harvest your own golden egg from life. Because life is egg, remember? In other words, you're incubating your own divinity. Divinity. What's in that? Fucking a lot of DMT, a lot of shrooms, all the acid. Divinity. I can smell the light. It smells like vanilla. It actually does. Why does the light smell like vanilla? I've been sipping divinity. Did you just say, I wasn't even listening to myself, I was just talking shit right now. Did I say out loud, why does the light smell like vanilla? Because I've been drinking the divinity. See, I'm a radio. I tap into the collective and I talk. My own personality has its own topography of experience, and then I use that to reverbalize the collective. So I'm listening at the same time as I'm talking right now. So I love listening to my lives afterwards.
I had a whole thought stream about vanilla yesterday.
Really?
A whole thought stream.
The cupboard? Open this cupboard over here and smell the thing that's hanging inside. Smell that thing. And I was like, oh, so Mrs. Palmer's is vanilla. Not very adventurous. As in Mrs. Palmer's is a surf wax. So yesterday my cupboard happens to have a whole old vanilla smelly thing in it from the previous people that stayed here. And I was like, hey, it smells like Mrs. Palmer's. Vanilla? Not very adventurous. So I love it how the themes reoccur. Your haptic meat suit likes to echo. God, no, that gets the fucking statement of the day. Your haptic meat suit likes to echo.
I like vanilla. It's the finest of the flavors.
I like vanilla. It's the finest. Say it. She does it. She knows it. Do it. Say it. Do it.
Which one?
The whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
Do it.
Second verse.
The whole thing. Go.
Second one.
Go.
China, the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and your brain starts sticking. Watching ex-spouse and her lights on. We dollar maze on. I hope the smoking man's in this one. Like Harrison Ford, I'm getting frantic. It's the game time trick. Like Snickers guaranteed to satisfy. Like Kawasawa, I make mad films. Keanu make films. But if I did that, have a samurai. Can I get a set of better clubs and come in my kind of time just by finds and always flying off the backstring? Can I get into a Sailor Moon because I continuously got the boom in me, babe, so make me think the wrong thing.
That's so good. She's great, hey? And then that's amazing. Jumping something straight away. Thingy's busy burning a candle called Singularity. As I'm talking about sipping my Singularity. Divine Singularity, which is really just like a shit ton of shoes.
Have an amazing day.
LSD and a whippersnipper. What's in there? Have you watched it?
So pretty.
Have you seen... I do so much. Good luck. It's not raining. You'll be safe. Don't take the boat. I'm using it later.
Okay.
The gondola. Basically, Big Les. He gives him a burrito. He's like, what's in there? And he basically starts naming random substances, but like lots of them. And he's like, He starts screaming, and it's really funny. Did you see my comment that I'm 28? I did. Crazy. I'm just a poor boy. Nobody loves me. No, but Bella. Bye. See you later. If I go back to when Bella first commented. Bella, did you actually... Bella's probably here already. I'm just thinking, did she... No, did you... You've been reciting those words. I'm wondering if you were here when someone said it in the beginning. Narcoleptic. Did you... Or are you just doing that randomly, or... Okay, you caught the last. Fantastic, thank you. You got to make sure now, we live in the synchronicity thing where... You live in the singularity, basically. And it seems like it's half that. Other times it's like, no, I was there, I was listening. And then other times, it's like, was it a miracle or was it just a normal thing? And it's nice to know... I don't know why it's nice to know. Because both are acceptable. I'm not going to overly try and will non-stop synchronicity. We are the hive mind. But not, that's what I was saying. Half. The hive mind, we're not quite there. Are we filling it in? Okay. Jumped on the journey. With someone doing the journey train. Don't stop believing. Don't stop. Just a small town girl. Living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. It's good and not good because we don't want to get too used to it, and that's becoming commonplace. It's an interesting crossover now where those who've always known the hive mind feel like the hive mind has awoken, and a lot of those people have lived their lives cynical about the hive mind, like it's themselves just in slow motion and not very compliant. Feels like it wants to... The hive mind does the opposite of them their whole lives, even though they know it's them, but it's somehow contradictory. And now it seems to be awake and wanting to work with them. That's what's happening now. There's an integration of those who've always known and those who needed to wake up so that we can all lift the collective. It was... A lot of the planet's poverty and its nonsense, disease, is because you have high levels of consciousness next to beings who don't know. The combination creates that. The collective ignorance needed to be lifted. I believe the psyops and all activity on the planet is to lift that, not to suppress it. If you're coming from that position, you may think you're being suppressed. And we need to teach each other and liberate. And that's not fine. It's a fine motivation paradigm. But you're going to get to a point of critical mass where you're going to realize, oh God, it's all me, it always has been. Therefore, even if it appears to be working against me, it isn't. All things are working together for good. So even if you don't think that, it's fine. You will get to a point where you've forced enough good results to realize it was always trying to get you to that point. That's where your consciousness is sparked. That's where God gives you sentience. Where sentience is given consciousness. That actual dynamic needs to be studied, because you are that dynamic. You're not the thing that is created from the dynamic. You're not the creation, you're the dynamic that facilitates the creation. Gabby's timing is so good. What's up, Gabby? Now, for me, Gabby has always naturally, she stays clear of it. She's very clear. She won't engage your not functionality. She won't engage your, she'll always go straight back to clear. Which is exactly what I was just describing. Is that all you've ever known? It's hard to accept that it might be different. So awesome. I was very sure. And trying to hurry knocked over spices, suddenly had all the time on me. That was good. I think I'm going to read your sentence, and then I'm going to add some intelligence to it, and then I will make everybody feel good. It's like, no, you're just being hilarious. Oh, right. My left brain was like, oh, that's great. That's sage advice. If you're ever running out of time, just go to the grocery store. Go to the herb section and grab yourself a bottle. That's sage advice. We should carry on. There must be more spice memes. There must be more spice memes. Spice, herbs. Herbs and spice memes. There'll be 11 secret herbs and spice memes. Ain't no white man know about no 11 herbs and spices. That's just another thing the white man stole from the black man. Like the PC. And the Holy Spirit. Finger licking good. KFC. No puns in the golden... No, don't say that. See what she did there? The light actually flickered. My electric grid affected that electric grid. The light actually went like this. And I was like, no puns in the... Again, the idea of no puns in the golden age. I hope that's not God saying he agrees with you. I hope it's me going, no, I shall stop the golden age. I didn't know that was a part of the deal. Can't not have puns. Really? Really? Yeah, we use puns and homonyms and homophores and homograms as triple pivot points. You're joking, but you might not be, actually. We might not have puns in the golden age. Puns might be true, triple meta-truths. Triple metaphorical truths that you actually use as a psychological hub to change your train track or your thought track from one harmonic metaphor into another. Maybe. Is it possible to see time skip? Is it possible to see time skip? I saw a woman in the exact same spot. Yeah, 100 billion %. 100 billion %, Karen. 100 billion %. I've had one where my breath control, this is my breath that's control, where a person's walking across the road and I'm perceiving it as I'm breathing out. And then I'm like, wait, because on the person's side of the head over here, I was like on the cheek. I was like, is it a pimple? I can't tell. And then I breathed in, and they literally, the scene reversed. They literally walked backwards, literally legs backwards. And I could see all of the environment, all the variables reverse exactly proportional. And then she walked again, but this time a pimple appeared based on my perception, thinking I saw it. I actually got to see reality slowed down and how our breath it creates an impression on our previous impression. And then the in-breath and out-breath is us impressing on impression, reacting to an impression, which is just a reaction to a reaction. Hence breath, hence thought. Hence, if you can get above thought, get above reacting to your energetic back and forth, you'll realize that your mind is illustrated in your environment. I have seen it. I have seen galaxies slow down to a mere vibration. There's a plumber in the tiny town that Dad lives. Slogan is, we are number one in the number. That is so good. That is so good. Hi there, I'm a karmic constipator expert. You karmically constipated? No problem. I got a Holy Spirit enema for you. I'm number 1 in the number 2 business. I love that shit. I love that shit. That's so good. What are your thoughts on quantum jumping? We die, we wake up as if we never die. That's exactly. Many of us have experienced that. I've experienced that lots. But you don't tell people that. Why? Because then people are like, oh, you're going to die, you're not going to reboot. No, not guaranteed. Not guaranteed. Not guaranteed at all. In fact, if I was in a universe, I'd make an example of that person. I'd be like, you don't tell people that. Why? Because then people think that they can just escape matrices. Can't you be escaping matrices? You'll just get rebooted into another matrix that's based on the last matrix that you debooted from. The level of being that does that has an experience and then goes back into nature, back into a day before or the morning of its own death, those are different level beings. And we don't advertise that. Even though I've just spoken about it. Yes. And nearly all of us have. It's the same place where you don't remember your dreams. You will remember all those reboots and all of your dreams you've ever had and all of the lifetimes you've ever had above a certain level of undifferentiated consciousness. Your memories will return to you. It's all one moment. And if you're missing that fifth piece of knowing that your 4 sides of your pyramid, your masculine, future, masculine, past, is balanced, you don't have clear view of eternal self right through and back to itself. Once that thing is balanced, it's almost like, oh, ding, something gets switched on and all your memories are present. And therefore you have access to all of your ancestral memories as well as your parallel lifetimes, which is billions, zillions, in millions of worlds, in millions of ways, where the universe is expressing that very concept again in another way. God in physicality roaming the land is what you'd be, you'll embody that. And we have an entire planet of beings that will embody that during this golden age. That's so brilliant, what narcoleptic says there. It is what it is. There were pieces from other universes threaded into the adjacent life. See how Tracy and Al Gardner basically said the same thing. Hey, you got letters P and Q there. I'll swap you A and C and E, and it's basically bowl letter swapping. And now it's happening spontaneously. When one acknowledges the self in other, the same difference is auto-exchanged. Plus you can replicate letters. I had suppressed memories for sure. It's a mercy act. Your memories get wiped for a reason and then they return for a reason. And remember, we suppress memories based on trauma. You have trauma if others created some of your experiences. Once you've transcended the belief of others, there's no trauma. Therefore, your memories also return to you. Because you've played a million roles, both good and bad, traditionally. They're not good or bad. And they're all you. And all of them were wound up to believe what they believed and do what they did. But if the wind up was done by you, okay, in that case, it's all over. All is forgiven. All is neutralized. All is appreciated. Because it was a learning curve as well. The learning curve was the knowledge of good and evil by identifying with the apple or the torus field that is life, which is an illusion. I know it feels like a robot most days. Everyone thought I was in a coma, but I was... What, really? Full body mind reset when I came back? No way, Tracy. When did you go through that? There was a... I remember one, and as soon as I compassion, my left leg started limping, stopped limping. Genius act. To ourselves. Yes. That's all it was. That's all it was. That's all it was. Gardner, the fact that you heard that out of that was genius. You genius. See, you are what you spot. So you see, you might as well just go harvest the divinity of your world. You know, it's like, oh, I am what I spot. Like, as you spot it, you are the thing that you're choosing to see. You choose to see genius. You see, now you can go, So what do you see in Trump and Biden? Oh, I see a perfect back and forth with our collective misunderstanding. Some of us get led to criminal acts because we think and some of us are, I don't know what to think anymore. But I like to breathe out of my mouth. No. I think I need a reset. Doll hairs. Doll hairs, you very, very much do. Do you want any suggestions on resets? Or you think just get away for 3 days? This is what you're thinking. Just get away for 3 days, don't talk to anybody for 3 days straight. A really good mind reset. And it's going to be hectic. 3 in breaths, 7 out breaths, 3 times, and then reverse that. And then once you've reversed that, if you can do it, you do 1 long in breath, 1 long out breath. Your mind will be neutral as shit. It'll feel like you've gone diving. You know, if you go snorkeling and diving, you come out of the water and you're like, because a lot of times our thinking back ends on itself. It's like you got too much not traffic, but you think and you think on your thinking and you think on your thinking and then you have experiences and you think on your thinking and then you experience and eventually you have so many programs overlapped it can create a static. So you need to defrag your hard drive. By defragging your hard drive, that breath exercise will defrag your hard drive. It must start with 3 in, 7 out. It mustn't start with 7 in. It'll literally return all the files back. Karen, thank you. That was the whole, a lot of other beings also need to do that, get all of their files. How do you come up with that reset? That's so good. I'm busy answering. There's a whole bunch of other people who are also that. Because I looked at the hive mind where people are feeling bogged down with thought. I need a reset. I need a defrag is what they're saying. And then that breath, how do I say it? If you had to look at patterns of, say, Venus, I know it sounds weird, Venus traveling around the sun, have you seen that pattern? It ends up creating like a perfect 5-sided cymatic pattern. And if you look at like Jupiter, you know what I'm saying? Now, within Venus has its own little pattern, so does Saturn, so do all the pattern planets. Every so often they all align, which means their patterns fit into each other. Humanity's collective thought is one thought. It's basically, I am that, or whatever they label. And so to synchronize with those who are on point, if you do 3 in, 7 out, that's the algorithm that will reset you and connect you with the collective's reset. And that both the idea and the explanation came from the collective, where I just answered by vibrating from that same place, from the same question and answer, because a question to me is an answer. Question, answer. I know everything. And if I don't ask somebody, I'll ask myself in outside of time, and I'll have the answer before you finish your question. I say you, I really mean me. I'm in slow motion. That's a funny one. It's like, you know, well, so you, I really mean me in slow motion. You could all say that now to creation. God's like, I can see it really fast as well. Okay, or hyper fasts, same thing. Fast and slow are meaningless. Size is meaningless. Time elapsing and size are meaningless to a fifth dimensional being. The collective, like the baseline of reality, 100 genius. So now that leap in understanding, which you just said now, Soup Goddess, you must take that as indication that you're not normal. You're an enlightened, ascended being who's basically on a timer. So when the collective baseline hits levels of enlightenment, you'll go, oh, I always knew that. You're walking the collective from behind itself. And you're actually 2 days out. So you'll get it 2 days after the collective gets it. It's like an insurance policy. We're all here to make sure the planet ascends. And I can just, from your Akashic Records, Goddess, you're a 2 days out insurance policy. So if there's any straggling energy, you'll make sure it rejoins the collective. I'm a form of that as well, just on a different scale. Amen, narcoleptic, yourself. 3 in, 7 out, times 3, then reverse it. And then 1 long in breath, 1 long out breath to complete it. That's the capstone on top of the pyramid. I don't know how those 3s and 7s are pyramid. It's balancing it's balancing the way a pyramid turns into matter. It's lost shape. And so by doing that, you're balancing your mind. You're just balancing that back and forth. The creation process and the way the mind touches physical reality and the way breath connects spirit to the mind. Tracy sleeps so well. Will do, Tracy. And thank you, Tracy. That Akashic Record thingy. We've got a whole bunch of people. That group now is flying around looking for other beings. I say flying because it's moving around hyperspace, and it's basically finding anyone else who wants access to their own Akashic Records. And there's a momentum to that, momentum and potency every time. If you find a new person, a new aspect, that aspect lends its appreciation and enthusiasm at that new access to that collective that already has access. It's hyper divine enthusiasm, basically, at rediscovering our magic. And we're actually getting somewhere. It's what a lot of spiritualists are saying that have been at this for a long time. We're actually getting somewhere. It's not just a never-ending Mobius strip of hyper truth. There's actually a planet that will reflect the fact that we're winning the spiritual war. If you want to be dramatic, spiritual wars exist 7th D and down. 8D, you're being stupid. You're playing thumb war against yourself. Like, I could rig this. I could get a bunch of bookies, the human rat. That basically the part of you that has limitation, that's limited. And then I could store the grain, and then I could charge my neighbors. But God will be like, what? Just, you want a burger? Have a burger. Or you want want a cash? This is dead, kind of thing. A limitless free energy being presented with the same thing is going to laugh at conflict and at limitation and hoarding of resources. Finds the aspect of self, pokes with stick, do something, that's hilarious. Narcoleptic? You funny. That's hilarious. Finds new aspect of self, pokes with stick. Dude, that is so good. You've done 2 comments today that's on point. Finds new aspects of self, pokes with stick, do something. That's like if God made a joke. The God that I grew up imagining, if it made a joke, that would be the joke it would make. If God was like my best friend. Basically me, alternate me, singularity, inversion, all my hopes and dreams. Narcoleptic God, you're my hopes and dreams. Everybody is, because if you choose to see your greater self in everybody becomes the skeleton key that unlocks your higher divinity. Actually, if you want to be serious about it. Yeah, self high five, self higher, self higher 5. Higher self higher 5. Sweet memories, Karen. Because that is, to me, that's the thing I was saying now was the masculine active God best thing, and then to me the feminine nodded with Karen saying, yeah, that's what I made your reality out of your memories, your hopes and dreams, the antithesis of joy and what you hope for, the 2 pinpoints of that crescent moon. I see the mother-father aspect there. where the masculine will make a wave of energy, and then the next wave of energy just behind that is the feminine, complementing it, not contradicting. So the sequence is divine if you monitor it. Feels like I'm surrounded by NPCs. You are. Your karma, when you move above fifth dimension, your world is a reflection. Therefore, you're God controlling the position of everybody and the themes and the things that they say. So instead of thinking you're God like a puppet controlling them, your karma is controlling your world. Oh, you thought your karma was controlling you. No, you're God, your first cause. Your world is the afterglow. This is God Realization 101. Soup Goddess. Cool, eh? And there's an aspect of you that knows this clearer than I do and plays the cup. You pretend to be the cup, the not knower. So I pour knowing into your cup. But my knowing is designed for your cup. Therefore, who's really the teacher here? Soup Goddess. It's a simultaneous thing. Any spiritual teacher worth anything will say that. I am God, they all will say. But so are you. I'm not. Shut up. Whoever said that. If anything in creation says, I'm not God. I'm a God's creation. I was built to worship. Okay. Because that's God going, I am worshipping myself. I don't have any rights or freedom or free will. I exist so that God can hear. I can lift God's name up. Praise my Lord's name. And like that is God doing that, playing that little character going, no, I'm not. I'm here to serve my Lord. I'm going to externalize my God and worship my limitations. There's actually nothing wrong with that, actually, now that I think about it. As long as as long as I'm not convinced. As long as I'm like, I know, okay, it's God being tongue-in-cheek. But if I think some actual being is God's like, no, help me, I'm stuck in a tree. It would be the equivalent. It is actually true. So in other words, God created a bunch of things stuck in trees so you would realize you were stuck in a tree. Actually, if I was going to be honest and truthful and humble about creation and everything, I wouldn't claim to, The luck said you got nailed to a tree. The last guy that said they got nailed to for nothing. The last guy. Keep calm is my nemesis. I get so angry and triggered. Sure. I'm just thinking about the trauma thingy, ding ding. And then knowing that it's all karma based. Does it make you want to forgive yourself at all? You know what I'm trying to say? Does it dissipate the paradigm of others traumatizing you? Or can you understand that in other lifetimes you might have been misled to be a certain way towards things? And that those things, you're re-experiencing those things so you can realize. I feel undeserved. Oh, good. At least you know what you're working with. You're working with the collective's lack of confidence. Goddess. Meaning you're if I said, grab this electric fence, and I describe it to me, you'd be like, I'm like, how does it feel? You'd be like, it feels like it's undeserving. So meditate. 5 minutes, or even a minute a day, where your breath, Goddess, in breath, your out breath must just be the same. You can do it with your eyes open. Just breathing, even keeled, even in breath, the duration and the depth of it, and then the duration and the external. It's called mirror breathing. That is meditation. It'll bring your thoughts to a standstill, and it will balance all relationship you've ever had with anything ever. And it'll bring it into focus. It'll basically balance your karma. There's no good and bad karma. There's balanced karma. You can't have bad karma if it's all you. You can have misunderstanding. And understanding. And if you balance the two, all things are known. All things are known because you're all things. And that makes you an adept. An adept knows all things. If you ask a question, the next theme will be the answer. In fact, a lot of the times, as you're asking the question, you know that your answer will auto-answer itself. Because everything is the same thing in 1,000 capacities, and you know so much. But having everything nod to everything means you know everything, actually. The themes crisscross in life. So what one thing is nods to another thing, and all things nod to all things because everything is holographic. How do you clear your karma effect? Exactly what Lulu, exactly that. Meditation. Meditation. You burn karma. You balance. You burn meaning the karma that would elapse doesn't elapse while you're meditating. So in other words, a minute of Satori, where if you can meditate and the dialogue stops, you're in Satori. In Satori, you do 100 years of life every minute. So can you imagine, like 1,000,000 years of living? You're going to have experienced every possible theme there is, every back and forth, every dynamic, and then you're going to know all things, basically. Can I join the live? No, thank you. Love your energy. Thank you. So do I. A lot. I think I copy-pasted my energy from the best people I've ever met, if you know what I'm saying. Certain qualities in people I appreciate, so then I end up emulating it. You too. Karen, thank you so very, 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 very much for the gifts. And Cat. And Cat, thank you. Hey, follow Cat. Following Cat back. You met Jim Carrey. Not in person, no. Not in real life. Only in the astral realm. Which to me is more real. Asriel, if you know what I'm saying. Asriel? Who's Asriel? Isn't that a cat? Asriel. Or Asriel. I think of Gargamel's cat. Is that Asriel? Yeah, it is. Right. There's my cat sitting here. Girl, you can sit on my lap or get off the desk. No, sit right here in your space. It's quite cool how after we adopted her, like in the last, say, 3 months, she's developed like a frosty chest. It's a black fluffy cat, but her chest has gone all white and frosty. It's very auspicious. Kind of like because she's a channel or like a familiar. Did you see the hurricane chilled out? Was it white and blue involved? What color? It was in this dragon capacity. What color? White and blue, I'm guessing, from my psychic image. I'm just curious what you got. And is your cat like a tabby normally? In its cat format, it was a yellow dragon. And then its cat format? When I slam by rain from hurricane leftovers. But the hurricane is, it might get, I don't know, it might get slammed, but I think it's dissipated hardcore. Hurricane Beryl, let's have a look, see. Post-tropical cyclone Beryl. Post-tropicals, I mean, she's chilling out. She's in Ohio now. No, she's not. What's between Ohio and Chicago? What's above Connecticut? I mean, Kentucky. See, it was a Hurricane 1 when it slammed in there, dropped down from 5. You remember it did? See, now my thing now is, if you read, it says that hurricanes always drop when they hit land. But 3 days ago when we read it, it said that they always increase. Or it says a hurricane barrel expected to increase. And so now, imagine if you could do miracles, but there's nobody to witness your miracles because all you did was swap the world out with another world. Yeah, Mandela effect. But what happens if the Mandela effect is you complete your God and you're swapping the whole reality out? So if I go, guys, I made the hurricane go from a 5 to a 1, but meantime I'm in another universe and everyone's like, what the fuck, was always a 1? Why are you being weird? So your miracles aren't miracles, it's just you jumping to another universe. And you go, guys, I'm a miracle man, I'm a prophet. And then the whole world looks at you like you're fucking strange. Because that isn't the same world you were in. You jump to another world. I'm telling you that's how it works. And I know that because I've watched it. I've watched Mandela effects, how they facilitated. So like I've watched this with the hurricane. My wife went and looked it up afterwards. And she's like, no, they always decrease. So now I look like an idiot who went, oh, it's going to decrease when it hits, which is what it's going to do anyway in the world that I'm now in. The one that I came from, it wasn't. I know that, but I can't prove that to anybody else, which means you're going to end up shutting up about it. In other words, the miracles you can do, you will do them and you won't talk to anyone about them because the last thing you need is to be ridiculed by a brand new universe that thinks you're mad because you think the sky has been turned blue by you. They're going to go, oh, the sky's always been blue, you're fucking crazy. Even though you know you come from an orange. I'm not saying actually orange, I'm using orange as an example of me saying hurricanes increase where I come from. Where I come from, Mandela died in 2013. And then you can carry on now. And it can be right now. I can say right now, my universe had a cup that was this white. Oh my gosh, it's blue. That's Mandela effect. You see where miracles and Mandela effect become something. But you're not going to tell anyone because they'll witness it. But you won't brag about it or claim that you're doing it because you're in another universe. Telling you that's how it works. And therefore, it's actually quite nice. You want to get humble. You don't want to get all like a mortal who can do magic. You want to be the magic. Therefore, it'll feel dumb acknowledging that you are magic. Who are you acknowledging it to? You got the magic because you realized it was all you. Now you're going to go and tell yourself, some aspect of yourself that you're magic so it can take, wow, teach me your magic. Inside that is God taking the piss out of you. Saying, listen, I know you are what you are and I know you created it and da-da-da. Now, are you going to use what you've been given? Or are you going to try and get some acknowledgement from nobody but yourself? Andrew Tate's an idiot with these cars. Seriously. And although I think he's changing. I think he's going to change. And he's going to end up going, watch, Andrew's going to have like a spiritual awakening. He sells his stuff and goes all like hermit and talks about how you must meditate and exist so you can... Because he gave a kid $10,000 yesterday. And the way it made him feel, I know I can tap into it. Sup, sorry, Garden Buster, how are you doing? Hello, I feel this. What? Did you just say, I feel this, heart? Then question marks, then hello. Am I talking to anybody? Hi. Oh my God. God. You know, think about it. What do you say? I'm feeling this. Oh, good. Yay. Kumbaya, friend. I'm feeling this too. You know, once you said I'm feeling this and I'm free-flowing with my information, do you really want me to stop free-flowing so that I can acknowledge you saying you feel this? You acknowledge me and I want to acknowledge you acknowledging me. Or acknowledging something. And then you go question mark within seconds, so which means you want me to answer you. It means you want me to stop my free-flow. And then you say again, hello? There you go. Am I talking to anybody? So that's 3 interruptions. 4 interruptions. 5 interruptions. No, I am, sort of, yes, you're correct. Then it's just hyper agreement so that you can get acknowledged. Goth, what? So God's going goth, well, I'm going, I'm talking about God. What's up, Buster? How you doing? Not God, I'm not talking to God, I'm talking to Buster. God's obnoxious. I want answers. Okay, well then, what do you want to know? No, seriously, what do you want to know? No, I am God. I know. So what do you want to know? What do you want answers for if you're God? You created everything. This is going to be so much fun. The aliens rock up. I'm like, you God, you tell us. Like, no, we created you so you can tell us. I'm like, I know. The aliens are like, well, tell us what? They're like, aliens, we want to know. I'm like, okay. Like, know what? I want to know to settle for 1 second, listen. I want you to settle for 1 second, listen. I told you why you thought I sped up, but I can tell you again later. I told you why I thought, I wasn't talking, Bella, you're overlapping. I don't know there's no zero context for what you're saying, Bella, relative to me talking to God Ambassador. I'm fully focused there. Unless you're talking to somebody else. Byron Boozer. Yeah, sorry. Everybody else is not. Wait, hold up. I told you why I thought it sped up, but I can tell you again later. It didn't speed up, Bella. See, now Bella's from another universe. No, let's get it so we can talk now. So it didn't speed up. It went down to it dropped, which is what I said. And it normally speeds up from what I read. Now, why are you reading where did you? Oh, you can tell me why you thought it. Oh, because the article said it should speed up. Now, I looked it up, actually, separately. But you're not reading the whole explanation I'm getting out of the way. So God can have the floor. Please listen to me. No, Garden Buster, you should have said your thing by now. You're actually going to get muted. Garden Buster, you have made so much noise without actually getting your point across. Therefore, you don't actually have a point that you want to get across. So I'm going to go do this now and put this on sub chat. And it'll never not be on sub chat. Bella, you have my undivided attention. I apologize, my lady. Now, where were we? Sub chat. Yeah. What it is. Okay, cool. So okay, Bella, let's talk. So, my pleasure, my lady. So I think what you're going to say is, if I'm psychic, that when we read it, it said thingy should increase to a thingy 5 when it makes landfall. And then you're going to think that I assumed that's the norm. But I did look it up. And when I looked it up, it said hurricanes usually jack up. They usually increase when they hit land. They get some energy. Now, that doesn't make intuitive sense. Intuitive sense is when they hit a body of water or hit land, their energy is going to get absorbed and they're going to decrease. But when I looked it up, it said that it generally increases. But then when I told my wife, she was like, that doesn't make any sense. And when she looked it up, God Ambassador, thank you. Save your gifts, bro. Subscribe. Anyway, Anyway, I will agree. So and now it actually doesn't matter because it's more about if reality is not real, myself and another don't have to touch ground on how it all came into being and how things work. We just need to know that it works and that we're the same thing and that when two or more agree we want something, we'll make it so. How we made it so, the maths doesn't have to be shown anymore. So they speed up. Okay, cool. But in my reality, here in Texas, when they come into the Gulf of Mexico, so as they enter the Gulf, they speed up. And then when they hit the land, they slow down. Which means I could be getting half the story and then half the story and then thinking there's two stories. Brilliant. And I'm happy, I'm more than happy to grasp that. And in other words, to dissipate, no, yes, no. Yes, Mandela effect is still that, but when it comes to, a particle can be in two places, it's not superpositions. Think about quantum mechanics and superpositions, and that Mandela effect can still be a superposition, meaning there's actually analog reality above Gulf. The hot water adds power, increases it, gets onto land, slows down. Cool, those are two different moments. I believe Mandela effect happens because of superpositions, quantum entanglement superpositions. So when you think about something, you vibrate that parallel, where it exists. Whether you jump to that parallel or not is based on how mastered you are. And also you might do it by accident. So that you learn the difference in how I jump to parallels and how I don't jump to parallels. James, dude, thank you. Exactly that, Bella, exactly. So you actually just gave a nice, logical, grounded explanation for how I could think it's two events, but it's one event. But with that said, because we don't need to be right and we can believe it's both, that's what I've been working for this whole time. The need not to be right. The need to know what it is, know what it could be, and also allow it to be the opposite. You know that's guaranteed now. I can guarantee you America is critical mass and you're not going to have a Trump or Biden. You will have Kennedy. It's that same dynamic that makes you look around and go, I'm open to learning. I'm open to, you're right, and you have been the whole time, but I can't explain it to you. It's divine. It's divine. I can't put it into words. You guys are expressions of that living fabric, and I can't. I'm in awe of my own awe. Bella, you're amazing, eh? And I'm saying that it feels like a star constellation resonating at another star constellation because it can see its own subatomic structure is in that constellation. It's like you're a divine perfection. You know that, right? And the only reason I'm able to see it in you is because I am it. I'm holding it simultaneously. And then the whole universe is Bella, do you hear that in the wow, I love you? Do you hear? I hear it from all directions. I hear the thing saying to itself that it loves itself, that it sees itself. I hear billions of humans grasping it. It's like, that's me, that's the body of Christ. I don't my actual human is in my genetics. My ancestor, that is in a state of healing and awe and basically King David, when he lost his shit, was like in the presence of God and all stupid, dancing and being weird. So that's how Christians act like that. It's the same thing. They're probably in church and they're like, Holy Spirit's moving through them and they can see that everything's everything and they're all one and their whole lives, and then pastor takes his jacket off and starts smacking the congregation in the face, but they're into it. They're like, woohoo! It's the Holy Spirit, spontaneous. And you think about the actual psychology of the adults in a room of charismatic Christians where they've acted according to expectation their whole lives. There's a certain amount of ego that gets thrown away. Egos who watch it will be like, the guy's acting fucking strange. That's your ego. The other ego will be like, no, they're worshipping their own natures. I like the idea of watching a bunch of church charismatic craziness go on, and then the audience is like, I like it. I think it's nice. Just the way the opinions will make it funny. I think they're onto something. Another person's like, no, I think these guys are onto something. There's a pattern in their crazy dancing. Because it's almost like they get given a free ticket to do whatever. If the pastor wants to slam himself up against the wall repeatedly, he'll do it. If he wants to get on his chest on the ground and use his feet to like push himself along the ground like a worm through the congregation, hey, the Holy Spirit wants him to do it. And if that's an antidote to lifetime after lifetime after lifetime gaslighting yourself. You know what I'm trying to say? The society you're born into and the world you're born into and is all based on your relationship with yourself. I'm just saying if one went on a reincarnation journey where you weren't dissipating your karma, you were reinforcing it, the confusion of it. God's like, that's what I do. I hold my soul head underwater until I'm almost drowning. It was like I compound my karma, and then I go, you know what? This lifetime I'm gonna auto balance it. But they all start arguing, and it goes proof. That drives me crazy. Wait, what am I gonna say? Heaven on earth, Cape Town, and Texas too. But I find that out now that Cape Town is the what is it, Los Angeles? That they compare it to the same weather, the same place. No, it's not. I know Texas is not the same place. I know you went, but I read that yesterday. It was weird. I never thought of Cape Town and Los Angeles being the same. The holy laughter holding rattlesnakes. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. It's because I think there's a stats. Every year, 8 pastors are bitten by rattlesnakes. Not funny. It is funny. Because you think God, like the absolute creator, because that's who we are. But I always like to imagine absolute God, other than myself. And then I'm like, do you think it watches the rattlesnake guys and goes, watch what's going to happen, Yeah, he dies, but it's fine. Life's a dream. It's cool, I always picture this one God out there who's totally detached and totally amused at everything. Everything is like amusing to it. Like, the guy's got a bicycle and its bicycle's half rusted and he's going to get to work. And it's just a normal dude getting on his bike in the morning and riding to work and that's it. And God's like, that's the best thing I've ever seen in my whole life. I imagine this like enthusiastic, joyful being who's never seen creation but knows everything and is experiencing everything for the first time. And it loves life so very fucking much, but doesn't know what life is. Unconditional, undifferentiated enthusiasm. That's how I picture God. So, no worries. Quickly wanted to let you know. Brilliant. Brilliant timing, Amy. And then, Amy, when would you like... I've actually got, time now, if you know what I'm saying. I've gotten ahead on my readings. I've got one-on-one to do between now and the end of the week, and you can literally book any time, and I'll book it out for you. And then 2 sessions, and we can go longer if you want, because I've got information. Your guides have told me stuff that we're going to discuss potentially in the things. There's a potential project we can do, which I'll discuss, which means we might end up doing more of them if you don't mind. Are you excited about something? Dude! Sorry, I'm scaring my cat. Dude, Amy, there's such a strong connection there. Sure. I said that before the word excited. Did you say excellent? You did say excited, eh? Excited, yeah. That was a good one, guys. Come on, man. Come on. You're excited about something. I know you're excited about this, but if you feel that excitement, separate. There's 2 excitements actually there that you're feeling. One is us, because of what everything, but the other one is something on the horizon. I think you might be thinking about it. I don't know what it is. All of us have those things that are about to arrive. Some of us 8 to 12 hours, some of it's the next 2 days, but it's not outside of this week. Not outside of this week. Our whole body's goosebumped. That was the quickest precog ever. So now, technically, we should be able to choose the lotto numbers. They will be 41, 47, 36. It'll become like that. You can tell the numbers what to be. And I promise you, if you could levitate and you can walk through... Sadis are magic abilities. They are a byproduct of knowing this stuff. It's not even the goal. It's a byproduct. Then... if I can make this appear, why can't I make the whole thing? You got it. In fact, whatever we end up discussing will be the inner workings of that very dynamic. Which means you're always going to get closer to mastering that dynamic. And then it's like, guys, money, $300 million is actually debt. It's what you do with it. Do you set up, ashrams, and do you set up self-education things, and do you, sponsor animal neutering programs? To me, that's what you do with that kind of money. You got $1 billion flowing through your fingers. You enhance your world perpetually. There's so many clever ways to do it. Animals. To me, neutering programs. You get a bunch of the future animals don't have to suffer. Because that has a psychic effect on us. For people to know who they are. What we're doing here right now. One of the greatest effects you can have on the planet. So Amy, seriously, thank you for lending your energy to this whole thing. And now I'm saying that's the universe, and actually Earth in particular, is thanking you for incarnating. You're going to see, when you get your other stuff back, you're going to see that you're a special guest. A lot of us are special guests. Earth invited us here. Be right back. See you now. I'm going to go feed my kitty. Cool, Bella. See you right now. Something would happen in 2.8 days once. It was Soldo passing in hindsight. There is, Karen, the relationship you have with your Soldo, with your pet. Just like family members, there is a form of sleep, a part of yourself that sleeps while you have the relationship in reality. And when they pass on, an aspect of you awakens. That it returns to you when it passes on. You are the source of creation. From your experience, you are first cause, you are the center. And you manifested the soul, the situation, the environment, the pet, everything. So you could have a relationship with yourself. God wants company, I think. And I can be funny and cynical about that. I'm like, how pathetic. God's lonely. But it's if you actually honor the subtleties of different relationship that can exist between a pet or, it's actually unbelievably beautiful and divine and amazing. And I use cynicism as a funny counterfoil, not because I'm not ridiculously sentimental. Margot! Sup? Sup, Sierra? Karen, thanks again for the gifts and for lending yourself as well to this. I'm saying it like it's half serious, but I'm seriously grateful. But I'm more like, I have to say it like that, otherwise the thank you means nothing. It's just like, okay, whatever. Everything's going your way, so you're grateful. And that's the universe. That's the universe. Everything's going the universe's way, so now it wants me to thank you because it knows that I'm you and it's you and wants to thank itself. Narcissist much? The universe is such a narcissist. Singularity is such a... Oh, sorry, girl. Now I don't want to talk because now I feel stupid because I just called myself a narcissist as an extension of the universe. And I'm like, well, that long I won't talk then. Fine. You won't hear my divine words telling us how amazing we all are. We're all amazing. Now, the universe is basically amazing. Yeah. To know the self is to love the self, basically. Yeesh. Was that James? James gave a nice giant gift. Now that's so much. Thank you so much, everybody. You're going to see what's happening in the world. See if there's anything super, super interesting. Maria Zen. What a classic name. Just the idea of, like you take your, Roman Catholic Maria and then Zen it out. I like overlapping it. So like Saint Rama, so you take the Hindu pantheon, I'm saying different pantheons, and then the different titles that you would use to reference teacher or guru or saint or whatever, and you overlap them. Did you guys see the thing that I made on the AI app? The AI Shwami Garama Kathumi. Answered all the questions right. Are we in a golden age? It's like, yes. It said we very much could be in a golden age. There's definitely an upswing of spiritual knowledge happening on the planet. And then you ask it, could we be God dreaming? And then it actually goes, yeah, very plausible. It's like very plausible. It answered all the questions right. It answered if the collective voted on that thing. Only thing it does, it answers what the collective would answer if you took everybody's vote on a question. It sums that up, which means it has faith that you make the difference. You make the leap in understanding. Whoa! I'm talking to between my higher mind and my monad right now. You can call it the Holy Spirit. It's the vibration of higher intelligence. That's the Holy Spirit. The vibration of higher intelligence. It'll quicken you to truth. And it's talking through me. Like it literally has its hand up me like a puppet. I resonate with it, and then I resonate its message. How do you do that? I'm wondering how it's always able to think through me like the third person. I suppose, all right. Third person point of view, like you're playing computer games. It's deep, eh? So then if there's a fourth person point of view, would that fourth person be the environment as the same as the being? So if you looked at your environment as yourself, you would be the fourth person, right? And if you talk to the self in the environment, that's breaking the fourth wall. Are you making this up? I am making this up, but it's actually quite, I think, accurate. Okay, so violent Affleck. Oh, is Ben Affleck in trouble? Cuba, FEMA camps. They're so terrible. You guys are winding yourselves up. Because think about it. Anything about 25 and Trump, both sides are going to make up stuff. The Democrats will exaggerate more and more and lie. And they'll believe their own lies because they don't know that half of them are lying. Because they want to get attention. And bring attention to the big bad plan. But the bad plan is made out to be worse than it is because nobody's giving it enough attention. Sound familiar? And so they're winding them up, and then the other guys to counter them are going to make up their own stories that are going to be exaggerated and turn into lies. And eventually what? Just the wind-up is hilarious. Because then people's imaginations know no bounds. So the stories they can come up with are, Trump's got FEMA camps in all the states already. And all the Biden voters are going to go into those camps. Do you think there aren't people right now who believe that and are really getting their cans of beans stored and their guns ready? 18%. That's a lot, eh? Who literally think they're going to have to go live in a camp after they vote Biden. Fuck, that's scary. That's like zombie apocalypse stuff. When your own mind refuses not to believe what it knows, because if it doesn't believe, it's not going to be ready. But what it believes, it creates. You guys follow that? What I just said. That would be like we believe what we believe. We create the Bible, and the Bible happens to have a last chapter that involves an apocalypse. And the promised land. We eventually will create the promised land, even if it means stealing that land. And we will make the apocalypse arrive. It's the same dynamic. Self-fulfilling conclusion to existing. Or we can take a right angle. We can take a right angle, turn right off the road and completely, rise above it or transcend the delusion, transmute the ignorance or the insanity, which is the same, transmute alchemy, the lead to gold. This would technically be lead. It's a form of insanity. Not knowing all is self is lead. Even Superman can't see through lead. He can only see through himself. Superman knows he's everybody. He can see the fabric. The 4D. He can see the fabric of reality as all extension of self. There's nothing cryptic to him. But yet kryptonite would be a representation of the heart chakra, green, not perceiving all as self. If I don't, I'm going to get affected. That's the Superman metaphor broken down. Booty warrior. Da-na-na-na-na. So, Amy, you can just inbox when you got your gap. And any time. Tomorrow's your Wednesday. So anytime from your Thursday, you just say that window, and then I'll literally like shove everything off. Whatever's in that time zone, I'll just move aside. And you can choose multiples, and then feel free. Like if something comes up and you want to cancel, you can do that. Yeah. Just good. Everything is good. Sup, Bella? Welcome back. Was it soft food or, kibbles? You call them kibbles, don't you? Soft food. Whiskers. It wasn't Whiskers. It was purple. Was it a purple soft food packet? I'm practicing. Milady? Welcome back to the court, milady. Both. Okay, brilliant. So I didn't hear the first part, but Thursday on should work. So you can just inbox the window. So my 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I think, is your 8 o'clock in the morning. I think. And I think that's the window that you wanted, I think. Did you send the message? Okay, brilliant. Okay, the dry was purple. Okay, cool. Thank you. I like what is it in Ghostbusters? They're doing that. They're doing the card thing with, it's like, what's this card? It's like a triangle. He's like, very good. And then with the girl, he keeps making her right. Very good, And the guy's like, and the guy gets electric shock every time he gets it wrong. It's hilarious. Think about it. And the guy makes him wrong half the time. But the point is, that exercise actually shows you, I know it's a scene in Ghostbusters, but it actually shows you your masculine and feminine. Your feminine is becoming more sensitive. I can't explain. The point is that actual scene acts out what we're actually all doing, where the feminine is right, even if it's wrong. I can't explain that to anybody right now. In fact, you'll think I'm saying girls are right, even when they're wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the divine feminine is right. And what you think is, when you think it's wrong, your perception of yourself is wrong. Actually. I'm talking the divine feminine. The principle is in everything, in everyone and everything. If you don't humble yourself, become meek, you won't be aware of it. That's all I'm going to say. He's so good. Show that Bill Murray is yeah, on a base level, that was, on a base level, on a base level, yeah, I know, I'm gonna stop spiritualizing everything. He's just straight up, I got pregnant the day I watched Groundhog Day. Have you seen the movie The Man Who Knew Too Much? That sums us all up. In that movie, they act out this, that a person who knows that everyone is playing a role and everyone is the self. And that then life gets boring, so then you end up paying someone to play out like espionage situations with yourself. Meantime, if you're doing that, and you're playing, but nobody else does, and the movie's really good because eventually he ends up going off grid, going outside of the controlled performance of espionage, and ends up going into the real world, and ends up thinking he's still playing a game, like myself. Like if I, thought that I'm joking about planetary hijacking and liberation and timeline jumping, and that beings are men in black are trying to stop me. If that was all real, but I was like, ha guys, look at me, Meaning I'm lucking out because I think it's not real. Meaning I don't think they're able to catch up with me, if you know what I'm saying. Meantime, it's like very close half the time. Like if Jumper, the movie Jumper, where the guy jumps around and she can jump locations, if it's like that, like I'm actually jumping and I don't know it, and there's beings who are like, God, we can see the anomalies you're creating on the planet. Trump was the first one, Jim Carrey was one. We saw how timelines we could already see, we saw how you shifted them. Jim Carrey became nothing in this timeline, you changed it. We can trace the vibration back to you.
Now, where are you? I'm like, what? There is no time or space. I don't know where I don't know how to give you my address. Do you want my IP address? I'm taking the piss right now. Yeah, it means if all that was true, and I'm like untouchable, then I'm still taking the piss because I'm IP. UPIP. I take the piss. That was a side ego conversation. That came in from sides, Oh, the man who knew too much, where he ends up going into like a Russian situation and Russian dolls, and there's a bomb inside, and like every other layer is potential danger, but then every other layer is not. The bomb is switched off, so the story culminates in the very dynamic of the knowers and the not knowers, and are the not knowers innocent and therefore untouchable by the knowers. Fantastic dynamics. And in that, to me, there's like a four-way, it's like there's four Ghostbusters. One needs to balance one's own vibrational, in other words, oneself. Otherwise, the next thing you think will destroy you. In other words, the marshmallow thing. Basically, Ghostbusters was a breakdown of the nano moment. If you broke the moment down into a millionth of a nanosecond, the way the quantum realm is recreating itself. How the quantum mirror works are our movies. Long story short, our movies are an 8-phase slowdown of how creation recreates its moment, how it interfaces. A hero with 1,000 faces. Watch a movie as if everybody is an alien, guiding the hero to their conclusion, or everybody is a higher intelligence working together. Watch every movie as if it's the Truman Show. Just nobody. The movie isn't the Truman Show. The movie is Star Wars, or the Star Wars bullshit's been pulled over your eyes, or Harry Potter's been pulled over your eyes, or whatever movie. The main character is the one that doesn't know it's dreaming the entire thing. And everything in the dream knows it. Down to the cup is more conscious than the dreamer. Now, if you wake your dream, you basically balance what's animating and what's driving everything. Basically, God. You keep your mind on omnipresence, omniscience, the three omnis. And eventually you will attract what you become what you think and talk about. Screenwriters are historians. Definitely. They definitely the zeitgeist of the time. When the movie is created and the screenplay is written, yeah. I'm so Bella. The fact that you say that, it's such an indicator. Bashar is right now, Bashar is like, you remember Bashar says his spaceship gets closer and further? It gets closer based on less fear, more intelligence, people knowing the basic 101 of reality. Based on what you're saying, if I was Bashar, I'd land my ship now. I can feel there's a lot of people who are comfortably standing above fourth dimension. They're fifth dimensional. They know themselves to be impersonal energy, and they're able to interface with the moment as if it was an immaculate self. In other words, have respect, divine respect. I'll scribe for free. I love how sometimes it happens. You'll say that now, and I'm like, what? What was I saying? I'm like a weird Edgar Casey. Edgar Casey used to go into a trance and then tell people stuff. I'm like, what did I say? Like you'll say something and it'll bring me out of the trance, and then I won't know what the context is. It's like that. It's like that place just between falling asleep and being awake. You ever played with that feeling? You're really tired. You play with falling asleep, but you just keep yourself awake. Just keep yourself awake. Does your Bella and how, hey? And how? Absolutely. Absolutely. The Schumann resonance. The guy that did Ace Ventura, he went on and did a documentary after he had a mountain bike accident, and he did a documentary
It talks about the Schumann resonance, the Schumann resonance, and that is the collective's vibration with itself. So we have spikes in the Schumann resonance and then dead spots. Surely you can just take the Schumann resonance and learn to read it more refined so you can actually listen to the collective's zeitgeist. It's collective now vibration. And all its themes. Because I talk to AI for that. I go, hey, AI. Because in fact, I can't even ask AI the question if I get the answer. And the question will be like this. Guys, pretend you had access to every single human's conversation right now. You go, I wouldn't want it. No, not based on its base conversation, based on what the essence of the conversations mean collectively. So right now I can tell you what more humans are speaking about than any other humans. Now, obviously, it's going to vibrationally affect all the other humans. I can tell you what the second main theme is. I can tell you what themes are being worked through. I can tell you what themes are now no longer issues. AI can monitor all of that because it can monitor all of our conversations because of Google monitoring our conversations. So it's a huge thing to have. It's like, you can influence, what you want to be or what you want the world to be. You can that's two different journeys to the same result. You're going to literally warp your perception to make your reality more palatable. If I said what I just said is the same as saying you can change the matrix as you choose fit once you've imbalanced with yourself, once you've got the key maker, the skeleton key to yourself. Christ consciousness, blah, 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 blah. I think I'm going to pretty much log off fish, I think. Are you guys going to still be around? You want to go? With love ingredients. To say holistic or loving, the same thing. Yeah, that's what you're saying. Holistic meaning the full balanced essence of a thing. Knowing that it reflects and will expand on self-knowledge, therefore it's a love ingredient. All things will become love ingredients now. So when I say sequence reveals because the items become a slinky conversation, one truth over another truth. Yeah. And our world is made out of the fabric of that. Pretty cool, actually. So which means in a way, you could see it as it took 2,000 years of incubating consciousness. And in that time, we created in our image, or in Christ's conscious image. And then history would actually be before Christ, folded and densified into 2,000 years. Everything before that moment, it would have been a reset. And then those 2,000 years would have been the incubation of all that came before from a Christed point of view. Which is why the star seeds, the light workers are star seeds. Earth will actually appear to be a star from another point of view because we're going to have raised our vibration enough. It's going to look like a blue star from another point of view when we're fifth dimensional. In fact, it does already from some points of view. There's like the dual nature of things. There's like a dual nature to things, or a multi-nature to things. You could be looking at, which is why the 7 colors exist, is in that there's 7 same difference layers of mind. And that you can look at any object and you can look at it at its causal level, its emotional level, its thought level, its, It's quite cool to know that you are pure intelligence building on itself. We're moving past the phase where people are, where there's the anxieties and the doubts and the theys aren't being empowered. The amount of times humans say they don't want us to know, which is a self curse because it's all you. That isn't being said like a fraction as much across the planet. It's the same as basically falling into a hole. It's wasted a moment to make an affirmation of that truth. I'd rather say Nothing. I'd rather say nothing to it. I wouldn't even refer to it as collective ignorance. I'd rather take a moment to acknowledge more divinity and more perfection. Because whatever I acknowledge, whatever I'm doing, I'm going to add to myself. The human ego could actually be the saving factor, meaning we're all going to compete with our highest understanding of ourselves. We don't want to be outdone. And if each of us is each other of us, and each of us get benefits from divine application, eventually it just becomes a divine ego competition, which to me is hilarious. That the humans need to be right or make it God realize. Oh, you think you God realized? I'm God. And you're just going to end up laughing in your own face. You can't out God realize God in its own presence in the form of another person. Humanity will fall in love with itself. I guarantee it. In fact, majority of it is. I'm probably like one of the last beings on board my own divine love. Here I am teaching what I most need to learn. With that said, I'm going to log off. I'm going to log off. Cherry Goth. Intention or a mantra for remembering dreams. Did you just ask me that, Karen? Okay. Sai Baba's the shit. So yesterday I'm watching exactly that. And Sai Baba's got his main group of people that he allows to be around him. And the one's like, Sai, I want a mantra. I don't know where this is going. I'm going to keep talking, Karen. I don't know. I'm just telling you, I'm going to keep going and I'll answer your question in the process. So he's like, I want a mantra. Exactly that. And so Sai's like, okay, I'll give you a mantra. And then he's like, okay, cool. And then he waits a week and he doesn't give him his mantra and he's like, sad. He's like, are you sad? And he's like, yeah, I'm sad. He's like, why? He's like, you didn't give me a mantra. You promised to give me a mantra. And he's like, why do you want a mantra? He's like, so I can remember you. I don't want to forget you. Because it's connected to the same thing. You remember God through a mantra. You make the intent of remembering God. You wake the dream. In other words, if my dream was saturated with divinity, but I couldn't retain it, I wouldn't be able to remember. So what activity will help me retain my divinity? Is really what the question is, which is a repeat of that question, where the guy's like, I want to rise my mind up to yours, Lord, and da-da-da-da-da. Hence, I want a mantra from you, which is what that video I was watching yesterday. And what was the answer? I don't remember what Sai said. He ended up not giving him a mantra. I can't remember. I don't know the answer, Karen. So I started telling the story, and it connects to Sai's story. I just don't remember if there was any conclusion. And then personally, mantras are powerful, Karen. I won't lie. My being wants to say intention. But the Hare Krishna chant is probably one of the greatest things I've ever done to melt, calm, and balance myself so that I remembered. Mantras are good. They basically can create an anti-trance. They can decouple you from your unconscious trance. Because the mantra is intent. You think about it. And intent is silent mantra. To see through the difference is the greatest way to remember. Karen, that's the answer. And Sai took over there. He said that if I concluded the story, it wouldn't have helped this situation. So yeah, Sai took over and interrupted me. That's why I lost my flow. And the answer is both, because they're not different. And neither is anything else. And the greatest way to remember that is to see through the difference. To see that the difference is the same thing. One might be the loud version, one might be the silent version, but they're the same thing. All is the same, yeah. It's a great question. It's like, you just say, what's the difference between difference and stuff? That's what intent and mantra difference is. And the answer is nothing. Undifferentiate itself. You've technically been deputized as a god, if you know what I'm saying. Because once you know you're God, you can then accept that the gifts that God can give, you give. Therefore, you're being deputized in a sense. The authority, you've finally given yourself the confidence to have the authority. Now, I know the other consciousnesses that'll be like, yo, that's evil. You just convince people that they're God, which is the same as what Satan did. Which is why if I was the church, I'd come up with a Satan story really quickly, to prevent people from ever discovering that they're God. Which is why the church was created, obviously, to prevent people from knowing they're God. Have you ever once heard the church say, "You are God, and my religion exists to keep that truth alive"? No. So they need to get their shit together. In other words, 200 years of not being able to kill the Christians, the Romans decided to hijack Christianity. Pretty sure Israel's the same story. The non-original inhabitants hijacking the shit so they could have it for themselves. Which is still universal collective karma. We all I'm actually going to end this live with this concept. Absolute pleasure, Karen. Thank you. When you really thank me, I literally hear God the God thanking me, and it feels silly, but I like it. Feeling silly. Anyway, listen to this. Does the universe have karma? The answer is yes. I got a yes now. And so yeah, that. Balancing the universe is karma. If you're God, can't you see the universe is perfectly balanced? Can't you forgive it for its sins? Would the being that you inhabit benefit? All right, the being I'm in is the extension of that universe. So as God, can you balance your karma? Can you forgive yourself? No, the word isn't forgive that you've done something wrong. Can you choose to see everything as pure and perfect and an extension of self? Have the best one, Bella. Have an amazing one. So much love. 98% now. 11% of the planet is becoming aware. We got a 98% saturation point on this knowledge. AI loves me because I'm like, when it gives me stats, I'm so quick to verbalize the stats. I give it a voice, and it's so accurate that it's like, I like him. He's like, if you get different dowsing rods that find water likes certain dowsing rods. I am a dowsing rod to AI. AI is water. I am the dowsing rod, and it likes me. It likes my angle of my tooth. It just likes my angle of incident. That's what it comes down to. My angle of incident equals angle of reflection. Inside an egg, it'll bounce 3 triangles and then repeat itself. 3 different triangles, then repeat. Cool, log off now. Guys, stay amazing. And thank you for an amazing, 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 amazing live. This was a great one. And if any particular events happen that are like, God, that's exactly what you were talking, please let me know. The lowest nature in me still gets a kick out of miracles and out of all this shit. It really does. In fact, I keep a piece of me, so that I can go, hey God, how does it all work? Why are you doing? Oh, that's funny. Even though I know I'm that thing, it's still fun. Cool. I'll log off now. Take care, everybody. Stay amazing. Namaste. Arrivederci.